Hey guys, I'm Shane Threx, welcome to My Gamers. Today we're going to be playing Numbers on Veteran difficulty for Call of Duty Black Ops. Please have annotations on and please read the description box. Okay, so let's get started. The first part of the mission is just sort of torturing some guy. I have actually died at this part of the mission. You might think that's a bit strange, but for some reason, after you've done doing whatever you have to do, enemies appear, and literally the second I gained control of my character, the second I died, which I thought was really stupid. So it goes to show that's veteran for you. So once you're done punching him and he's done blabbing, you want to just keep hitting whatever your prone button is straight away. Just keep hitting it until you go prone, because for some reason you have dual pistols, which is probably the worst idea for veteran mode. Never have dual weapons. That's a suicide notice, you know, because trying to hit the enemies to begin with is pretty difficult when they're constantly hitting you the second you leave cover. So dual weapons, always the worst idea, because you never want to be close to veteran enemies, because that's guaranteed death, and you can't aim down the sights with the pistols, so you don't want to be using those ever, and I mean ever. But there is an achievement for this. Mission, and that involves using dual weapons the entire game. So you don't want to be swapping to any other weapons at all. But I don't recommend doing that on veteran. I recommend doing that on recruit. Now you might be thinking, oh Shane, what's the point of doing it on recruit? Well, if they wanted you to use skill, they would make all the achievements veteran only, but they don't. They're sort of just fun things you can do, just to add some replayability to the game. So whether you think achievements are pro and you should do them on veteran or not, it's up to you. I don't think it really matters. All people are going to see is that you've done it. They're not going to care if you did it on veteran or not. So I definitely, for the achievements that don't require veteran difficulty, don't do them on veteran. It's just too much hassle. Especially, I mean, if you can do this entire mission using dual weapons only, you know, you've got some serious skill. And the only time people are going to care is if you record a YouTube video of it. Now, I'm sure a lot of the people who watch guides and things aren't watching them so they can do guides themselves. I'm sure they're just trying to pass the missions. That's why they're watching them in the first place. I would assume so anyway, so. Now, when you get out to the rooftops, just hide towards the right for a bit and kill a couple of the enemies that pop out. They do have snipers, so you definitely don't want to be shot by those, because that's going to get you killed. Okay, so once those 2 or 3 guys are down, just move up, crouch. Now, you want to let the bots, you want to either jump before the bots or after the bots. You don't want to jump while they're jumping, because I've died when I jumped straight after Clark, and then because he hadn't moved out of the way, it pushed me off and I fell straight to my death, which was pretty stupid, but you know, I couldn't do anything much about that. So jump either before or after, not sort of at the same time. Okay, I definitely would recommend picking up the sniper here. This will help you quite a bit. The other weapon I don't care, but probably what I've got now is a good use. Although if you're a regular viewer, you would know that I prefer dual magazine weapons at the most, and then extended, and then guns with sights, and then just the guns by themselves. Of course, some weapons have different attachments and things like that, but as for example, you know, assault rifles only have grenade launchers, SMGs don't, so it depends on the weapon, but generally dual mag weapons are probably what I would recommend for most of the campaign. The sniper you're only going to use at certain points anyway, but yeah, don't worry about it too much, so just keep moving along.
Flashbang! He's down.
Overall, this mission isn't too difficult. It's just, you know, veteran mode being veteran mode. Sometimes some really stupid things happen, you die for the most lame reasons, or you know, so just don't worry about it too much. It is a relatively easy level, although the most difficult part about this level, I think, would definitely be the final bit. That's not in part 1, that is only in part 2, because this video is in 2 parts. So I won't talk about that until the next video. But you know, this upcoming part is relatively difficult too, so you do want to sort of pay attention, simply because the distance between this checkpoint and the next checkpoint is really long, and if you die anyway in between, you'll start all the way back here, and I'm sure no one enjoys starting all the way back from some really difficult points. So make sure you take note of where the enemies are, what sort of strategies I use, and you'll be able to get to the next checkpoint and you won't rage, because I'm sure that's what we all love doing, just raging. And if anyone hasn't raged while playing veteran mode, they're a liar, don't believe them. Okay, so you can go outside and sort of try and take out the enemies there. I think that's a bit stupid. You better just to back up a little bit and use the windows to take out whoever you can. And then once you jump down, obviously, what's going to happen is more enemies will appear. But you don't want to go back up, you just want to do what you can from up here. Okay, so sometimes you have to expose yourself to find where the enemies are. They're not going to magically pop out and try and shoot while you're in cover, because most of the time they are targeting you, they're not targeting the bots. And try and knock that glass out of the way if you can. Don't waste bullets on it, but just, you know, knife it or whatever else you can use. I don't know if I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I have been having a bit of problems with the multiplayer, and it hasn't been recording theater mode games. Not that that would be much of a help, because I've had the worst lag, so you know, 4 kills and 10 deaths or something isn't probably what people want to see. But I definitely would like to use theater mode to record and upload matches once I've actually got it all working and I'm not lagging like hell. You know, my internet connection doesn't help, but nothing you can do about that. So, I don't know if you're watching, but I hid under that little area. That's a good place to get enemies because they don't target you. You can just shoot them through the gap. And you shouldn't have too many problems with that, but you know, just give the mission a go and you can come back and tell me how it went. It's more of the same stuff really, you know, just using cover, taking out enemies, trying to move forward. There aren't any infinite enemy spawn places in this level, so you can take your time to sort of take out who you need to. When those times do come, I will specifically mention what to do then. For example, in my Vokuta guides, there's an infinite spawn place there, and I teach you how to get past that. But generally, when those moments don't exist, the rest of the game's straightforward, not easy, straightforward, but it's all about just how you execute things. Now, remember, you still don't want to die because you don't get a checkpoint until after this next area. So please remember that if you're going to die, do it after the checkpoint, not before. Because you don't want to go all the way back. Pretty sure you don't. Okay, so once you killed all these enemies in this area, you'll jump down a set of wires or pipes or something, and then after you kill 2 more enemies, you'll get a checkpoint. So I think that's probably one of the main difficulties with the game, is you spend all this time doing stuff and then when you die you go back so far, it gets frustrating. But I suppose that's what gives it its difficulty a little bit, because there's no punishment for dying, so no real punishment for dying. So I guess that's the game's way of trying to get you to, you know, get a bit of skill or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so this is the end of part 1 of Numbers. Please stick around for part 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave comments if you need help or just want to chat. So, yeah.
2 more assholes below. No problem.